Yes, good day, good evening. Yeah, I wanted to do a part two to the video I did a few days ago. Through my Facebook Live channel. I was doing that live video on what is the best fast. And, to quickly recap, I went through dry fasting, which is just being on the breath, water fasting, and juice fasting. So I presented some pros and cons. I really wanted to just, try to, keep it short and sweet and, really address like one major pro, one major con with each type of fast and, really come to a conclusion. So if you haven't watched that video and you're watching this video, I would strongly suggest you stop this video, watch that video, come back to this video because I'm going to be building on that video. So, but just to quickly recap, I talked about dry fasting, water fasting. And one of the things that I really failed to mention, which really prompted me to, do a part two, is, with dry fasting and water fasting, the what happens is like the detoxification can happen too fast. Okay? And because the detox can happen too fast, that can create serious issues. And those issues can even be fatal. I think it's important for me to mention that, there are people who actually, do fasting retreats and, fasting groups for a living. And there's a few of them that I've been familiar with, and those that have used water as the primary nourishment for those fasts, I've always heard of a case where it didn't go so well, where it was either fatal, where someone actually died, or like someone was seriously hospitalized. So, I'm sure, if you're curious, you can, search the internet and, I won't mention any names or anything like that, but it's interesting because when I think about what I do as a service providing juice fasting, we've never had such an occurrence, and I don't expect to, because I believe with the juice along with the coconut water provides a safe way. It's a gentle way to allow the body to do what it's naturally designed to do. The other thing, and this is really, really critical, because, just to really bring home that point with dry fasting and water fasting, is, it always depends on a person where they're at. So if you're, especially if you have sugar diabetes, even hypertension, a lot of people too, always talk about like, if you're on medication. And one of the things with medication, and again, don't take this as holy grail advice. It's just, used for entertainment purposes, just to protect myself. And I'm speaking just in terms of my experience, with working with myself personally and thousands of other people. One of the things is like, if you're on medication, if you got anything like sugar diabetes, or you have heart issues like hypertension, etc., one of the things is, ideally your goal should be to say, okay, I want to get off this stuff. I mean, that should be anyone's goal. That stuff is really, Western medicine and our whole medical system is designed to make it comfortable for you to continue eating the way you've been eating. That's it. Even when you go to the hospital, they're still trying to basically, continue the drug use. And the drug being the food. Food is the drug that you're addicted to. And so they're going to give you the medication that allows you to remain comfortable eating the food drug stuff that our society is just littered with. So the thing is we're doing juice fasting. Juice fasting, not water fasting, not dry fasting. Juice fasting, as opposed to doing water fast and dry fasting. It is, for all intents and purposes, a diabetic safe fast, number one. Number two, if you're on medication, with what I just said, your medication, if you're doing juice fasting, one, your body is not working. Your body is probably working less than 10%, maybe less than 5%, maybe less than 1%. In terms of the digestive energy that it needs to process the juice, versus like eating a sandwich or even eating a salad. Okay, that juice is going to go in and really almost digest itself. It's going to be living, have energy, have living enzymes. It's going to be 99% water. You've removed the fiber. So the thing is like, it's basically going in and giving you what you need in liquid form, but also because your digestion is not doing any work, that energy now gets translated or gets used to heal. Okay, so this is the magic, of doing a juice fast versus water, and especially, like I said, it is and that's the major pro, and I just failed to just address that in the first video. It's so important, it's so critical. Now you see why I had to do this part two, because for me to have done the video, and it was a live video, I was just kind of really just speaking off the top, and sometimes I don't realize how important some of these details are, and I'll realize it after the fact, especially when someone asks me a question, say, oh, what about my medication, or what about I have sugar, and and again, these are pros for doing juice fasting. So if you're on medication, because your body is not, and remember what medication is designed to do. It's designed to make it comfortable for you to continue to eat the food that you eat. So you're saying, well, if you're not eating the food, then what's the purpose of the medication? Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky, because yeah, logically you can think, okay, I don't need the medication, and you may not need. That's decision is solely up to you. You are responsible for your body and what you put in it. But one of the things I suggest is doing like a half dosage, because I know your body is not going to be working half as hard. So if you want to just kind of wean off the medication, then I suggest maybe doing half the dosage. People take aspirin, and they'll cut the aspirin in half, or whatever is out there now, for pain, so those are two big, we talk about being on medication, we talk about having a condition like diabetes and sugar, water, trust me, look, these things have happened. There's been fatal results with people trying to do better, get inspired to do a fast, only to go too far too fast, And, you know, and then the other thing, you know, I think I mentioned this in the last video. It's like, you know, juice tastes delicious. Who doesn't like juice? You know, water is, I mean, okay, water, you know, water cannot come close to the taste of juice. Coconut water, but not this, this processed water that, you know, everyone's drinking. You know, because one of the things, let me talk about water for a second, because, you know, and I'm gonna do a video like just on water soon, because, you know, I have a chapter in my book that, you know, talking about the business of water. I'm not going to even get into the business side of water, but what I will say is, you know, we're not drinking water, even the water, like, you know, basically it's just coming in these bottles. It's unregulated. You don't know what you're drinking. You know, the bottle looks nice and pretty, and basically, you know, you're just drinking, you know, water out of a pretty bottle, and that water could be 50% tap water. I think they can use up to 50% tap water in a lot of these spring waters. When I taste a spring water from a bottle, I taste metal. It's like I'm tasting pipes. That's what I'm tasting. Just something that just not doesn't feel right for me personally. Especially when I'm able to get coconut water. Okay, so it's like there's no comparison, you know. And, you know, one of the things I also wanted to touch on, especially when we started talking about coconut water, because if you watched the last video, I came to the conclusion that in my professional experience, with my experience, in my opinion, coconut water is the best fast. When you talk about, you will get the best results in the fastest way without it being any kind of fatal, or, you know, any things that I touched on earlier in terms of the body going too fast. It will give you just enough in a perfect way, because one of the things, you know, with the juice, you know, I mentioned like juice is just so much more enjoyable drinking water, number one. Number two, if we look at the juice, we look at the phytonutrients, we look at the enzymes, we look at the colors, we look at the taste. These things have a healing benefit. They have a spiritual benefit. And I want you to think about this in terms of, you know, when we look at our body, and I talk about food, you know, anytime we eat food, the body has a design, you know, it's designed to, you know, save some of that food, you know, in some kind of way. And you know, just in case for a rainy day. And that's why most people just gain weight, especially as they age. They never give the body a chance to feed on that extra. And so that we stay, you know, slim and trim. So what the juice does, the color and the sweetness and the nectar is really the natural detergent for the body. The natural detergent for the body. If you had to clean like a dish or some kind of appliance or anything in the kitchen, right? And let's see, I got a text here. Okay. Yeah, if you had to clean anything and you're just using water, you can get the job done. But if you had a little detergent, it's going to happen a little better. And that's what the juice does. So it's bringing in that natural detergent, okay? And it's helping to, get the heart working better. Get the blood vessels cleaner, the lymphatic system, the kidney system, the liver system. Get all these things working better, and it's also going to help to reprogram some of those taste buds. And I did mention this on the last video. Major pro doing juice fasting. Help to reprogram some of these taste buds, because again, there's layers. There's layers with nourishment. The first level of nourishment is air. We're breathing all the time. That's what connects us to this world, is the breath. Most important level of nourishment is the breath. No question about it. And then right above that is water. So, no question, water is life. And so as we move up, let's say we have air here, we got water right on top of that. What's next? Well, we got coconut water, fresh juices right on top of that. Okay? Then right on top of that, we got fruits, smoothies. You got your fresh soups. Then maybe on top of that, you got like fresh salads, your greens, things of that nature. Then on top of that, you have like maybe some of your all of your raw food cuisine, whether it's like some of your your fresh like starchy fruits like banana, plantain, squashes, again, and these things have water. And then you have your nuts and seeds, and then you start getting into like your cooked foods, and a lot of them are like cooked starches, cooked protein like beans, and again, you see the layers and layers and layers. And let's say you're somewhere out there, maybe eating beans and rice, maybe you're eating a salad with this, or you're eating sandwiches, or eating some form of cooked starch and cooked protein, and then you go right to water. There's a lot of layers that you skipped. And when you are just drinking water, and then you go right back to, let's say you do a week or 2 weeks of water, then what happens is like you go right back to your diet, and it's too extreme. It's too extreme. You want to go to at least juices, smoothies, on that, because that's gonna again help to change your taste buds, where you get away from the cooked starches and the cooked protein. Again, it's all, look, you want to get healthy, eliminate cooked starch and cooked protein. Period. That's again, that's the foundation of basically every disease, at least from a dietary standpoint. Cooked starch, cooked protein, and then you always combine them. Cooked starch, cooked protein. It's pizza, it's sandwiches. You got even in your salads, they put in protein in there, and people feel better because they have some green vegetables like lettuces and kale, but they're putting in like those cooked proteins in there. And is it better? It's a little better, I have to admit that. But the thing is, like, we're going to juices. It's going to help to, well, one, and I mentioned in the last video how there's thousands of fruits we don't ever eat. So at least we can introduce a handful during a juice fast. Okay, like that we are relying, nutritionally on this for X amount of time, whether it's 3 days, 5 days, or longer. Okay. The last thing I'll mention, because the conclusion I came to was the best fast is the coconut water fast. The best fast is the coconut water fast. And that's because it is the best water. You know, bar none, the best water. And you know, one of the things, I don't like to use a lot of argument. I mean, I'm basing it really just on my personal experience. That's what my spirit tells me. And you know, one of the things I come to, you know, just with years of drinking just coconut water as my only water. One, it's a water, number one, that tastes whole and complete. And the key word is whole because, and this is the main advantage of coconut water over fresh juice. Is like fresh juice is a processed food. Let's keep it real. Fresh juice is a processed food. Now it is good, it is delicious, and you can get a lot of benefit. But with the coconut water, when I'm opening up coconuts and getting that water, that is just how nature intended for you to drink. Like it is coming whole and complete. You know, with let's say I juice a pineapple or watermelon or even a cucumber. I'm removing the fiber, and what's happening is, you know, people talk about like, you know, drinking the juice once it's made. And there is some validity to that. You still benefit, and there is a difference between, you know, drinking fresh juice or drinking pasteurized juice. You know, the taste is unmatched, and your body benefits. It's just better. But the coconut water, again, is unmatched because, again, like I said, it's a whole food. And because it's whole, because it's in the way it's designed by Mother Nature as a whole food and a water simultaneously, it will go in and move your bowels. It will go in and help to correct your liver and to correct your kidneys and your whole digestive system. Without the assistance of colonics, without the assistance of herbs, it is the ultimate wonder, super miracle food. It is what I call the number one food on the planet. No question about it. I mean, if you spend any time, you owe it to yourself to spend some time where coconuts grow at some point during the year. You know, I mean, to just be in that type of environment that produces that type of plant is majestic. And so, you know, I guess that's a good segue for my retreat coming up. I will be doing my retreat in a few weeks. There are still some spaces available. We will be fasting one day on coconut water at least, but we'll be drinking coconuts every day during the retreat. So it's wonderful. You know, you can go on my website and find out more about that. But the coconut water is the best fast. And, you know, one of the things, and for good reason, I have not been hearing a whole lot about what people call the master cleanse. I don't like to call it the master cleanse. So I talk about in my book, the true master cleanse is the coconut water. No question about it. You cannot improve upon what nature has created. Man tries, and, you know, I guess the lemonade cleanse, again, if people are doing it and benefiting, that is fantastic. That is wonderful. But there's just something that's just so much better. You know, because when we start to analyze the lemonade cleanse, you know, first of all, you're taking water from whatever source. You know, and you know, you read any book on a master cleanse, it doesn't even talk about like the kind of way. It's like, just have water, squeeze some lemons, which is great. Limes are, probably a little better than lemons, but okay, you're in the ballpark. And then they tell you to add some sweetener, a processed sugar like maple syrup. What's the other part of it? The cayenne pepper. Again, trying to give it some energy. It's almost like, like overstimulate your circulatory, get that cayenne pepper, it gets that blood moving. And again, I mean, it's not bad. It's not all bad. It's not bad at all. But there's just something that's just so much better. And then the other thing, I think the worst part of the quote unquote lemonade, quote unquote master cleanse is the fact that they like you have to drink some kind of smooth move tea to get your bowels moving. And see, and again, look, if that's what and that's where people are at, then that's what it is. But the coconut water, you don't have to do that. Like, it will, because it's a whole food. It's going into your bowels. It's going to clean you out. Like that's what it does. But it does it in a it doesn't overstimulate. Like if you did a herbal tea that was for your bowels, like that herb is designed to overstimulate your bowels in order to produce something. You're bringing in those herbs, and that herbs is forcing your system to react to it. See, when you bring in coconut water, now your body is going to do it when it's supposed to do it, when it's ready to do it. It's not like you drink coconut water and it automatically will do that. No. It will do it much more gently, where it becomes much more healing in the end game. Because the thing is like, if it's forcing, like for example, if you went and got a colonic, the therapist is gonna be putting in gallons of water in you, and again your body's gonna want to spit it right back out. Like, again, you're putting your body in a situation where you're forcing it to react, versus like bringing in coconut water. It may or may not react right away, but when it does react, it's going to do it in a way where it's, again, much more healing in the end, where it's like it's just more gentle. It's going to, again, destimulate versus overstimulate. So it's doing it in a much more, again, healing way. And it does it primarily, when I say healing, it's doing it using, by destimulating the body versus overstimulating the body. Again, when you use drugs, even herbs and these things, you're overstimulating the body. Again, the herbs is going to be better than drugs, but it's still overstimulation. Okay. So that's one of the, I think I hope that you see why this video is necessary, given the fact that I started talking about this, but there were just some critical details that that was so important for me to mention. Again, the coconut water, if you're on meds or if you're dealing with sugar diabetes, that's critical, very critical. And just using, juices and coconut water. You're going to, and that's why I like too, using those things, on my cleanse. Actually, all of the juices have coconut water, the fruit juices and the green juices, and people have gotten mad at other juice bars because they don't use coconut water as a base for their green juices. That was something I started doing, and because again, and I started calling it the transfusion, because when you look at the blood is made up of hemoglobin and chlorophyll. I think I got that right. The blood is made up of hemoglobin. Well, basically, chlorophyll is very similar to a part of the blood, which makes the blood green bluish, and then the hemoglobin is very similar to the part of the coconut water. So it's late. I'm tired. I can't think of that part of it, but I think you get my drift in saying, like, by bringing greens and coconut water, you're bringing something that's very close to what our human blood is. So again, like, the best thing to drink, no question, coconut water, and then to add like the different elements to it. It's like I know, like, again, and I feel like definitely we are doing the best fast as nature would want you to do it, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, so the retreat, definitely consider, if you're on the fence, definitely consider joining me. I will be also I am now offering a New Year's package. Not as good as the holiday package that I offered for $25. We're having now $40, still saving you at least $25 off the complete set, because this is usually $50, this is $14, together $40. So, do yourself a favor while supplies last. So yeah, hope that you gotten something out of this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, share this video. I need to go to sleep, and yeah, like, subscribe, share, and yeah, I'm tired. So thanks for watching, and until next time.